You are here on this planet as a beacon of light. You are here on this planet as a light worker, as someone who is consciously wanting to live with love and peace and joy in their heart. You are a leader. You are the one that came to say, no more am I willing to live in the conditioning of other people's fears. And it takes such devotion to keep your heart open and to keep your connection with source as your primary intention. But when our devotion to fear, when our devotion to anxiety, our devotion to what's not working, our devotion to looking at all that is bad and wrong in the world, when we're devoted to that, we will praise that, we will honor that, we will find more of that, we will continue to bow down to that. So, what are you devoted to? What are you devoted to? Just take a moment in your journal. And this is no one's going to read this. So be honest with yourself. Have you been devoted to the past, living in the past? Have you been devoted to scarcity, fear, lack, sadness, addiction? What is it? And then type in the chat, what is it that you've been devoted to? Whether you think that's on the positive side or the negative side, just type it in. We create self-imposed limitations when we're unconscious. And then we project that out onto the world and think everything is wrong out there with the other person. If something would change outside of us, we would be okay. If other people would change, if the government would change, if the economical system would change, if the weather would change, if my bank account would change, if my children would change, if my dog would behave better, whatever it is. Okay, devoted to pleasing other people. Yes, that's such a great awareness to see that. Scarcity mindset. When we can get really honest and be like, wow, I have been so devoted to this. I'm saying I'm devoted to something else, but my actions, behaviors, my deeper inner thoughts that I don't want anyone to see or know are actually, I'm so devoted to scarcity. I'm so devoted to fear. I'm so devoted to pleasing other people, or I'm so devoted to getting it right or being perfect that I'm not living my life, that I'm no longer inside of my life because someone else's belief system is running my life. Fear of not having enough and being enough. Yes. Fear of not being enough. And I know that my words cannot change that for you if you don't want to hear it, but I know that if you're here, you want to hear it. That we could not exist if we weren't enough. It would be impossible. Your presence is the evidence, is the proof that you are created in the eyes of the divine. You are literally created from the divine, through the divine, as the divine, and are expressing source energy here and now. Not when you're better, not when you've, healed your past. None of that. Right here, right now. You are the light. It is here, and thank you for bringing it. Yes, fear of not having enough, being enough. I've seen that pretty much with every human being that I've ever met, myself included. To remembering who I really am and to living authentically. You know how many women I speak to that's like the true deepest yearning is like, I just want to be myself. I just want to feel myself. I want to have the courage to speak what's true for me. I want to have the courage to set a boundary. I want to have the courage to say no when I want to say no. And we have to stop. We have to stop playing out the past conditioning, because what we're doing, we're teaching others that, we're teaching our children, our peers, our friends, our colleagues, that this is how you teach us. Or sorry, this is how you treat us. We teach people how to treat us, literally. Pleasing others and holding back my own voice. Yes, precisely. The past, self-pity, scarcity, being alone, and it's shifting. Yes, it will shift when we decide it's time to shift it. This woman that I was speaking to that was in this job she didn't like, she said, I don't know why I'm still there. And I said, I know why you're still there. Because you haven't chosen something else. Like, it's literally that simple. Because you keep showing up and doing the same thing. So breaking the cycle, any cycle, in some of my work that I do inside Unleashed and with my one-on-one clients, I talk about pattern disrupt. Any way that you can disrupt a pattern. Maybe it's like I'm right-handed, and so I'm going to consciously pick up the glass with my left hand. I'm going to drink it. I'm going to put on mismatched socks. I'm going to walk a different way home from work. I'm going to write with my non-dominant hand. Anything you can do to start scrambling, essentially, those neural pathways that are just same old, same old, same old. It's ruts. We get stuck in ruts, and then we wake up in the morning, we see our partner, we think we know who they are. You don't even know who you are. How do you know who your partner is? Right? And we project onto other people our fears, our limitations, our lack. And people project onto you, right? You've probably had this. Parents, family members. You can see it so much easier when it's being done to you than when you're doing it to others. Okay. Devoted to pleasure and comfort, money, security. Awesome. Devoted to scarcity, not having enough. Yes. And so it's so common. And then we walk around pretending. We walk around pretending that we're devoted to something else, especially as conscious, empowered women. So it's okay to get really real and recognize where we are devoted. Yeah, devoted to playing safe. Staying small, playing safe, hiding. And it's like, what's the fear? What's the true fear of not hiding, of being authentic, of speaking your truth, of showing up in a way when you say yes, you mean yes, and when you say no, you mean no? What is the true fear? What are you afraid will happen when you claim back all those fragmented parts of yourself? So in the energy healing work that I do, I sometimes see this as soul fragments. So literally, if you think of a broken mirror, all these little shards of mirror, in the same way, our soul can become fragmented through stress, through trauma, through all sorts of life experiences that we give our power away. So to reclaim these fragments, to reclaim our wholeness is crucial in our health on all levels, our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health.